Hey church, it's Jace here. I'm one of the pastors at LifePoint. If you're just tuning in, you don't know much about us, I'm one of the pastors here, and I just want to take the chance to bring you a word for the week, an encouragement for this week. If you have been a part of our church, you'd know that this year was to be a year of being the Acts 2 church, a year of rediscovering what it means to be the church. And sure enough, here we are in our homes, being the Acts 2 church in many ways. My daughter said at the dinner table the other night, "Daddy, it's like you're the pastor of our church, of our little family church." So I just want to read again Acts 2, just to actually look at what it is that described the tiny church or the house church, the beginning of the church as Jesus left it. Just to remind us, it's in Acts 2 verses 42 to 47. It says this: "They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Everyone was filled with awe at the many wonders and signs performed by the apostles. All the believers were together and had everything in common. They sold property and possessions to give to anyone who had need. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread in their homes and ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying the favour of all the people. And the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved." It's like a snapshot God's given us of what the church can be like. But this isn't really us, is it? Really. We're not meeting together. We're not breaking bread together. We're not in homes together. We're not worshipping at the temple together. I mean, we kind of are, but not really. It's just not the same, is it? What's God think of that? What is he kind of expecting of us? There's not much we can do about it in one sense. We're doing what we can, aren't we? Are we? Yeah, what does God think? If we can't follow this pattern at this time, what is he expecting of us? Is he expecting us to be as close to this format or this model as possible, doing our best to kind of mirror it? What's he looking for? I think I have a bit of an answer. So we're going to turn to another passage today. This is the one I want to focus on quickly. It comes from 1 Samuel. Samuel is a priest and a prophet to God's people, the Israelites, and he is set about with the task to go and find the next king of Israel. God's kind of reduced the field of vision for him to just one family. And he's said to go and see this family, and the king is within this family and the sons. And so we pick up in verse 6 of 1 Samuel chapter 16. It says this: "When they arrived, Samuel saw Eliab and thought, 'Surely the Lord's anointed stands here before the Lord.' But the Lord said to Samuel, 'Do not consider his appearance or his height, for I've rejected him.' The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." It wasn't until the 8th son that Samuel actually knew that this was the person God had chosen. And the way it says in chapter 13, the way that God had identified this person for Samuel, it says that the Lord had sought out a man after his own heart, that he had chosen someone to appoint, that he had appointed them ruler of his people because that person had a man after his heart. This is it. This is what God is expecting of us. He's not looking at our actions. He's not looking at how closely we're resembling the church as we see it in Acts 2. He's looking at our hearts. So where is our heart? Where is it at? What's behind our actions? Is God the one that we want in all of this? Is he the one that our heart is after? For some of you, I know that it is. For some of you, I know that this is what it all boils down to. If all of this is stripped away, it's all gone. There's nothing left. At least I have God. Without him, I am nothing. And if that's you today, then I'd encourage you, let that overflow. Let that confidence, that foundation overflow into love and generosity and to grace and to selflessness to those around you. It can make a huge difference. But for some, I know that's not it. It's very different. For some, this is a time of going, I don't know if I want God to see my heart. I don't know if he'll like what he sees. When it's all taken away, what am I going to have left? I don't want him to see this. I can be busy and I can cover my life up with things so that he doesn't have to see my heart. But when this is all being taken away, what's left? What's he going to see? If that's you, let me just give you an encouragement as well. We just celebrated Jesus' death and resurrection, the central event in history, this weekend gone. And we celebrate it. We remember that Jesus hung on that cross for us. But do you know who he had in mind when he was hanging on that cross? Do you know who Jesus died for? Not the you who's pretending to be fine. He died for the you who's stressed out. Not the you who's pretending to be on fire for God, really excited and passionate. He died for the you who's apathetic. Not the you who's pretending to be selfless. He died for the selfish you that's only worried about what's going to happen to you in this time. Not the you who's pretending to be the perfect parent, who's just kind of got it all together, who disciplines their kid perfectly, consistently, with love. He died for the you who flies off your handle at your kid because you can't control yourself. He died for that you. He died for the you who's struggling, the you who's worried, the you who's struggling to find happiness, family, friendship, love, joy, hope. That's the you Jesus had in mind when he hung on the cross. So if that's you today, just let me encourage you to do this. Let God stare into your life. Let him look at you and say this, because this is what he's going to say. I know you and I love you. And let that wash over you. Let that bring you the greatest relief, the greatest joy, the greatest appreciation, the greatest hope that you can have for today and tomorrow.